Moon gang. Hello, 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 hello. What is going on, everyone? Hey, hey, hey. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Good morning, apes. Good morning, Moon gang. Good morning, TMI banditos. Hopping in right now. Shout out, shout out, shout out. So we did kind of an impromptu Twitch session this morning. Gary Gensler was on Fox. I just wanted to throw it up there just because we know that it's kind of interesting that Gary Gensler hasn't been on with Charles Payne. So I was like, oh, like I didn't know if he was avoiding Fox or specifically Charles Payne or what was going on there. But anywho, he came on and he talked about three major things. Number one is he was talking about investing in Chinese-based companies. Think Alibaba, think Neo, think Baidu, think JD, the list goes on. Well, he was explaining, and this seemed like some sort of political move now that I'm thinking about it more. Obviously, if you haven't heard of it, obviously there's kind of like, I don't know, a quiet struggle for power between the US and China. I don't think I'm blowing anyone's minds right now. But anyway, it did seem like more of a political move that he was there kind of advising against investing in these Chinese companies, which was interesting. And his reasoning for that is you're not really investing in the company. You're investing in what is referred to as a VIE, and it's kind of a shell company. And I didn't know this, but I guess most of them are stationed in the Cayman Islands, and I'm sure you've heard about that for its relation to money laundering and hiding money offshore, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, you have this like shell entity that has an agreement with the actual Chinese company, and then that's the thing that's being traded on the US market, not the actual company. So he was up there talking, and that's where most of his discussion this morning, I believe the show is Morning with Maria, and that's what most of this discussion was about this morning, was him advising about the risks of investing in Chinese companies. But it's kind of funny because it's in direct contradiction to some of the most recent comments about what we're seeing from BlackRock, who is saying that they love Chinese companies and we should invest in all of them, and they think there's all this growth potential. So I thought it was interesting that BlackRock, huge, one of the biggest, I think it's the biggest hedge fund on the planet, is saying go all in, and then you have the SEC chairman saying no, 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 understand it's way more risky than you would think. That was the first part. The second part was more about crypto, and he was just talking about regulations in crypto and basically how he was saying that they should all be registered, which inherently means it goes from DeFi to centralized. And a lot of people who are interested in crypto, they like it for exactly like that. They like I guess, the fact that you don't have an overreaching government looking into everything about it. And then part three, he was talking about us, the memesters, Ape Nation, yada, yada, yada. And I thought it was kind of interesting because you have specifically Sorkin at CNBC, I feel, who's always trying to point out, and it's always these clickbait headlines about how Gensler's against social media and against Ape Nation and all of that. Like, that's always his sentiment that he's trying to push. And it's really taking his words and twisting it, almost like what Sorkin did previously, such as people with Trey. But even in this, his comments on it were not that in the slightest. He was saying, we're looking into internalizers, aka market makers, and we're also looking into dark pools. So literally the things that we've been talking about, he just stated on live TV that they are looking into them. So I thought that was very interesting. That interview, I will clip it and put it on the Matt Kohrs Clips channel so you can see it. So maybe I'm missing some of the main takeaways, or maybe I'm not fairly, I guess, relaying what he said. I can't remember his statements verbatim, but that was kind of the main takeaway I took from it. So later today, maybe this evening, but I'll get that up there. But that was on Twitch earlier today, but I will get it up. And those were all the comments from Gary Gensler, the SEC chairman. So that just happened a couple minutes ago. Other things to talk about. Right now, the S&P 500 and IWM, the two major indices we pay attention to here, are gapping down. The Russell 2000, which AMC is a part of, is gapping down by 1.25%, and the S&P 500 is gapping down by 0.8%. The reasoning for this is exactly what we talked about yesterday, and I also touched on it in my wrap-up video yesterday evening. Basically, the Federal Reserve is coming out and they're going to taper their asset buying. They are cooling off on this, I guess, current methodology and precedent of unlimited quantitative easing. They were buying a lot of assets, mainly in the form of bonds every single month. And they said, hang on, we think things are getting back to the levels and we're seeing the metrics we want to see. So we're going to kind of taper that. And obviously right now it makes sense that the market's gapping down and a lot of these major stocks are also red, because what it's saying is they're no longer backstopping the stock market by buying it. That all they were doing was shoving money into the system. And that's good. Stocks go up, I guess, and it is a form of a backstop. But what it does is it increases what's referred to as money velocity. And that's, I guess, basically a fancy schmancy way to say that they are increasing the likelihood and they are promoting an environment that leads to a higher chance of inflation. So basically, their goal is to backstop and help with the craziness of the world going belly up over the past year and a half. So they want to help with that, but they don't want to do it too much to the point that they cause inflation and then the USD is worth absolutely nothing. So for them, it's a balancing act. And obviously, they've been severely criticized for some of the things they have done, some of the things they haven't done. But overall, that's why the market is red right now. Tapering of asset buying. They are stopping the same amount of buying. And I think they almost actually want to be like really cool off September, October. So we're going to see less and less and less. This conversation is exactly what we were talking about with the True Trading Group. Shout out to Mike there. He was talking about it and he said, yeah, we know it's happening. It's a question of how. It's the methodology. Are they going to just cut 100% or are they going to take 50% and then go down another 50% and keep doing it? It was all about how they're going to taper it. And right now, obviously, the way in which it's being assumed that they're going to taper it and kind of based on their statements, obviously the market's not too happy about it. But it is also pre-market trading, and we have seen crazier things happen in the past where really could just represent an incredible dip buying opportunity. I'm in no way sitting here saying, no, because of the cut down, the tapering of asset purchasing, that we're all just going to collapse. And no, we've kind of seen things like this before where basically people know it's coming. In a short term, they'll go risk off or they'll get some puts or something. And then a couple days later, that's just the dip buy and then ends up continuing and trucking higher from there. So I'm in no way sitting here saying it's time to panic or anything like that. If anything, honestly, I think this is one of the best ways to wire your head. If you see whatever it is, if you're an AMC, GME, whatever it is, I don't really care. Those big green days are the days you sit back with a smile on your face. The red days, the days where people are a little angsty and panicking, those are the days where you maybe review the fundamentals, maybe get up your technicals, find some support. It's all about shopping on a discount. You would never go to a store and right there at the store, they're saying, hey, good news for you guys. Today, everything costs 20% more. You wouldn't buy at that store. Don't think about the stock market any differently. It's the exact same thing you're buying. If you go to the grocery store, you're buying a loaf of bread. You don't wait for the day that the loaf of the bread is double the price. You wait till it's on discount. And I don't think we should think of stocks really any differently in the sense that you're buying the same asset. You're buying a share of a company. It's the same company. You're getting a share in it. You shop on discounts. That's how you get more shares. That's how you optimize your risk to reward ratio. Like it's so much more logical to get it when other people are freaking out and you see red. When you see red, when I see red, I think, okay, what is the smartest thing to buy right now? When I see green, okay, you sit back, you enjoy, you get into Twitter arguments with people, you do something else. You do not want to chase. You don't want to be a FOMO buyer. You don't want to be a bag holder. I think a lot of that is, it's inverse. And I think it has to do with, usually when you think of a product, you have a physical thing and we're not seeing it as cash. While when you're in with the stock market, I think our psychology gets messed up a little bit because you're directly playing with money. You go into a stock, you see it up or down, and it's almost too close directly to money. And then maybe there's some of the, I suppose, gambling aspects of it. And when you see it like running, you get excited and you don't want to miss out. And with it, I get it. I mean, I'm not even saying I'm over it. I'm right there with you. Sometimes I chase when I like really shouldn't be chasing. Like, I'm not saying by any means that I'm perfect, and I'm definitely not a financial advisor, but I think you have to almost take a a very methodical look at your own personality and the pros and cons you have, the advantages and disadvantage in your own mind when you are trading. But overall, you don't want to be a chaser. You don't want to be a bag holder. You want to buy at levels of support on weakness, and you want to ride it up into levels of really resistance. You don't want to do the inverse of that. Like, as simple it is, you want to buy low, sell high. You don't want to buy high and sell low. And I know that's a bit of a joke, but like, think about it. Think about how many sometimes of maybe your bad trades that's actually ended up going on. Like, as much as we know that, and it sounds absurd for me to say it, did you buy it when it was ripping on when it went high and then it got hit and you ended up selling low? You did the exact inverse of what we should be doing. So when I see environments like this and I see people are like a little bit antsy and they're like, oh, should I sell? That's when I start looking about how much free capital do I have? And because I want to buy, you want to do the opposite. And I know that's that famous Warren Buffett quote of, be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. That's not my quote. That's from Warren Buffett. But you can use that on various timescales. Like right now, I'm already seeing it this morning. If people are like a little iffy, I'm like, okay, to me, I always kind of almost want to do the opposite. I want to fade that general social sentiment of what I see going on, because I know a lot of people, sometimes myself included, have the inverted mindset that we should be having when trading. All right, so right now AMC is at 35.48, GME is at 155.50. So these are down, and I'm trying to just better articulate in a very long-winded manner of why they're down. It's because we're seeing a gap down in two of the major indices that we talk about, the S&P 500 on the bottom left and the Russell 2000 on the bottom right. The other thing that is gapping down is Robinhood currently down 8% on the day. Why is Robinhood down? It had its earnings after the market after the market closed. It had its earnings announcement, and it was not good. No bueno. Robinhood revenue doubles last quarter, but stock drops 9% after app warns trading is slowing. So there's a couple interesting things I just wanted to point out here. We know that Robinhood gets a lot of money through payment for order flow. This last quarter, revenue from crypto trading totaled $233 million, more than half of all the transaction base of $451 million for the second quarter. So a huge chunk from crypto, and then a huge chunk from payment for order flow, specifically options in this last go round, and then a little bit from their other services such as Robinhood Gold. Robinhood reported a net loss of $502 million, so they basically lost $500 million. That's within the expected net loss of $487 to $537. The brokerage turned a profit in the same quarter last year, so last year it was doing better than it is this year. Costs associated with the change in fair value of convertible notes and warrant liability totaled $528 million in the second quarter of 2021. And the real thing that's getting people, I guess, why it's red, the stock is red and why it's trending down 8-9% is basically because of their future guidance for the upcoming quarter, the quarter we're in right now, Q3 of 2021. They said everything's going to slow down. They literally said we're not going to have as many users. We think we're going to make less profit off of crypto. We're going to make less money off of payment for order flow. Their future guidance was very, very bearish. And Zero Hedge, that account that I was talking about that I was trying to fumble through earlier, they made the joke that Robinhood is basically no longer its own core company. It makes money off of Dogecoin and options, a ton of money off of Dogecoin trading, a ton of money off of options trading. And that's even with that, all that money, they still lost $500 million in the quarter, when last year for the same comparable quarter, it was profitable, which blows my mind, because that's the quarter we were all locked in our apartments, in our houses, trading in our PJs. So this year, as things are opening back up and as people are starting to learn that, hang on, maybe Robinhood is the exact opposite of the mythological story that we perceive Robinhood like, or they perceive themselves to be. To me, it's a shipwreck. That's why it's down right now. That's why I've been talking about it. That's why I bet against it. So with this gap down, I'm going to lock in my puts for a hefty profit, and I'll probably use that money to buy more AMC, more GME. I'll do whatever I want with it. But that's what's going on with Robinhood. I mean, their own guidance are like, oh, no, 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 it's going to get worse. I can't, like, I was reading some of the quotes from it. I didn't listen to it, but their own guidance was like, oh, yeah, yeah, no, 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 it's bad. Like, I feel like the guy just, like, must have taken the phone to the analyst, be like, you don't even understand. It is bad. So that was kind of cracking me up. Cracking me up. Let's go over some of these Ortex numbers to get us set up for the day. We have about 15 minutes to go. Oh, before we get into that, first of all, shout out, hang on, why? Right here, we have shout out to today's sponsor, Manscaped. You can get 25% or 20% off, and they are pinned to the top of chat if you want to check out that website. But I'll do the ad read in a little bit, but I just want to give a special shout out to those guys. And since we were just talking about Robinhood and payment for order flow, I highly recommend everyone check out Public. If you go to public.com/Matt Kohrs, you can get up to $70 of free stock, free trading, no payment for order flow. And the best thing is all the trades are routed directly to a lit exchange. No dark pools, no market makers, free trading, free stock. The only downside of it is it's just for US residents. So if you're outside, you're going to have a problem with that. And they are about to roll out crypto trading, and they have no option trading. So right now it's purely stock trading. So if you're a crypto trader, option trader, you might want to use this and another brokerage or exchange or something along those lines. But for stock trading, public.com/Matt Kohrs. It's in the description of the video, up to $70 of free stock. All right, now let's talk about these Ortex numbers. AMC, they've already borrowed 1.76 million against it this morning, and we still have 15 minutes to go until the market opens. A short interest of 18.3%. Utilization 91, shares on loan almost 106 million. And I did cover this in the update video last night. Everything is trending higher. Literally all of the major metrics that we care about, the shares on loan, short interest, the amount of loans per day, the average age of shares on loan. I kind of went through all the major ones that we've like really talked about on these streams, and all of them from early to mid-June until this moment, trending upward, 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 almost every single metric. In terms of GameStop, the net already this morning is 26.7 thousand. The short interest is 10.69%, utilization 37, shares on loan inching back up to that 7 million mark. In terms of crypto's still taking that breather. I'm wondering if Bitcoin, it is at support right here at 44,000. I'm curious if this is the dip buy, and just so I don't forget it myself, I'm going to draw a picture right here and just hang on. I wonder if this is the dip buy. We see support. I wonder if this will be the opportunity for it to swing back up. We'll get a bit of a confirmation if you could attach this trend line. So basically 48,000 to 47,000 to 46,000. This trend line, look for that breakout. That might be a good confirmation that this is really not a George W, but just a basic double bottom off of 44,000 and a swing back up to 47. Looking at Doge in the bottom left, it looks like it's actually trying to base just below 30 cents. I thought it was going to come closer down to 28, but let's look for this to swing back around. Ethereum is very obviously basing multiple times now, right around 2,900, just below 3,000. Looking for that to swing back up. Cardano's kind of doing its own thing. As long as it holds above $2, I'm going to be pretty happy with that. Looking for the breakout of 220. So that's just very quickly so you know what's going on in the world of crypto for today. This is exactly what I was talking about in the yesterday for the S&P 500. We're at a level of support. So watch 436. I'm looking for the bounce off of it. If it breaks below, I would then be watching more in the realm of 430. So bounce off of 436, or if it breaks down, I would look for a little bit of a capitulation down to 430. In terms of IWM, we're also in its region of support. If it can't hold on to 211.50, I would then be watching 209. But if it bounces there, I would look for a quick reversion all the way back up to 215.50. In terms of AMC, we are still watching this breakout level. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like the 4th one is a rejection, so I'm looking for a quick reversion for the 5th test to see if we can get the breakout above that. Let me drop to the 2-hour just so we know what the level is today. It's roughly going to be in the low 37s. Let's just call it 37.40 for today, which would be that trend line breakout. And right above that, we do have this level of resistance from 40 to 42. So that's kind of the technical structure that I'll personally be watching. And last but not least, let's check out GME. GME gapping down. Also, we do have support between 145 and 150. So looking for that support to hold, a bounce off of that, and then a reversion back up to 164, where it's been battling it out ever since. Hang on, what is this date? I mean, honestly, ever since August 9th all the way up until August 18th, it's just been battling it out at 164, 165, battle. So I want to see another test of that. Hopefully we can build up some momentum and finally really break through that. All right, so that's the quick setup for today. I just wanted to let you know what Gensler was saying. I wanted to let you know what was going on with Robinhood and the market in general, and his comments on Chinese stocks, crypto, and really us, the Ape Nation community. Let me get IWM over here. We know that has a greater impact on AMC, and who knows, maybe today is the day that AMC and Robinhood trade at the exact same price. Matt, I hear negative beta all the time. If that were true, why does AMC and GME not move inversely to SPY, IWM? Educate me. So this negative beta thing, they're only looking at that on a small time frame. If you look at a larger time frame in excess of a year, AMC and the S&P 500 would have a positive beta. So when you hear negative beta, it's a smaller time frame, and that's just because from really the start of June till now, AMC is trending down while the S&P 500 has gone up. But this beta thing, it's all dependent on the time frame you're looking at. So positive or negative, I could show you that AMC has a positive beta if I look at the 5-year or the 3-year, and if I go to a super small time frame, it would have a negative beta. So that's the issue. When you hear the beta value, that doesn't tell you really much. You have to ask, what time frame is this beta value for? For those of you who have not heard of beta at all, a beta of 1 means that whatever it is moving essentially in a very highly correlated manner to the S&P 500. A beta value of -1 means almost perfectly inverse. A beta value of 0 means not at all. And then if you go above 1 or below -1, whether directly related or inversely, it's to even more of a magnitude. So for example, above 1 would mean that if the S&P 500 goes up 1%, whatever you're talking about would go up more than 1%. And then the opposite would be true in a number lower than -1. So it's like this range of negative all the way up to positive, and it's just its correlation to the S&P 500. But with it, you do it on various time frames. So that's an important question to ask is like, okay, I see that you're telling me a beta of whatever value. What time frame is it for? Because I mean, myself right now, I could show you different time frames on AMC. Some would be positive, and then shorter time frames would be negative beta. Sup, man, thoughts on a SPY rebound? So my thoughts on the SPY rebound would be if it bounces off of basically 436. If it bounces there, I think there's a good chance that this is just a momentary decline. What else do we have? Institutions are buying, lending them out, buying them back, creating more synthetics, trapping short sellers and leaving them with a bag. Why share able to borrow has increased and kept utilization around 90 to 94. Ernie, that is not the exact math of the situation, because you could have some people who are just not willing to lend it out because the interest wasn't worthwhile to do it. But now as cost to borrow goes up, it might become worthwhile to do it. So your explanation is one valid one, but it's not the only one. Like there's various mathematical sleights of hand that could explain the situation we're seeing going on. But the synthetics, when an institution buys, lends them out, and then buys them back, that's not a synthetic. Synthetic is another name for a counterfeit share. and counterfeit shares come from naked shorting. The process you just described is called rehypothecation, and that does not create synthetic shares. Synthetic is another synonymous word for a phantom share, a counterfeit share. Basically, it's representative of an illegal practice. Things are looking very jumpy right now. But anyway, the process that you described is rehypothecation, and that is 100% legal and above board. Spy calls, thoughts. Could you explain what a Fed taper is? Just wanted to learn. Awesome job, Matt. Moon gang to the moon. Shout out Howard. Spy calls. If it bases at 436, I think that's good. And that might make me a little bit more bullish, but I wouldn't make a trade right out of the gate. I want to see how things start trending today. A Fed taper as in they're tapering their buying of assets, aka bonds. The Federal Reserve is going to stop putting money into our system by stopping all of the bond purchasing it's been doing over the past year and a half. So they're tapering their buying. Hey, babe, how are those puts on Hood doing? Asking for a Greg who got banned yesterday. Also, Brazil DD is being overanalyzed. Shout out, Jake. So I don't know the value because the options market does not open until 9:30. So I'll tell you better in about 3 minutes. But I'm assuming I'm in a very, very nice profit. And I'll take my profits most likely relatively early unless I see a lot of vomiting. Then I'll try to hold it out. But if I'm not seeing a giant push down right at start, I'm just going to lock in my sweet lemon pepper tendies and keep going. I want confirmation and assumption whether hedgies close their short positions in green or red, the action will create a boost in price. Yeah, because buying is buying. Whether they're in profit or not, buying is buying. It doesn't matter if they're green or not. For them to close the short position, they have to buy stock. Good morning, my brother. You are looking at any EV plays, long-term investments like aviation or Archer. Curious on your thoughts. EV tall. Wall Street Viking. EV tall. What's an EV tall? Do you just mean EV? Let me double check this. Oh, electric future of vertical. Oh, vertical. Interesting. No, so I haven't been paying attention to those. I honestly don't know much about EVTOL. It's going to be the vertical takeoff, but instead of being powered by what I would assume is gasoline or diesel, electric vehicle vertical takeoff. I haven't been tracking any of those companies, Wall Street Viking, so I can't really comment on it. But I would assume that it is going to also do well with the EV industry. All right. We're seeing a lot of craziness at open right now. I like it. Let's get some volatility going today. Let's get rocking today. Team. Some of it seems like more of a Weeble issue that it's trying to get in trades across the tape that it should be having. I don't know. Let's just wait for the bell to open, but this is some insanity. This is ridiculous. This is actually a charting issue because the trades aren't coming across. So right here, 45, 18, 45. This is a Weeble tech issue. This is not, the trades are not coming across at 49 like it's showing. So those aren't legitimate trades. This jumpiness, it's a tech issue that we're seeing, just so everyone knows. They might be clearing some old trades, but we could see it on the time and sales, the actual trades coming through. Right now, Robinhood is trading at 45.15. There's nothing printing at 49. So this is a 100% a tech issue, but I can already see the conspiracists going of just look at this. Unfortunately, it is not that. All right, let's get ready. Market about to open. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. Come on, couple seconds to go. We have AMC in the top left, GME in the top right, Russell 2000 in the bottom left, and then Robinhood in the bottom right. I guess I should get ready to lock in some of my Robinhood tendies today. Definitely should get ready for that. All right. Ding, ding, ding. Market is open. The market is open. All right, all right, all right. Let's get zoomed in here so we can see some of this. All right, there we go. Where are we at? Where are we at? Okay, all right, all right. So I'm going to give this a couple minutes just to see before I lock in this beautiful gain on Robinhood. Beautiful, beautiful. AMC, oh, already pushing to go green on the day. Just so you know, it closed yesterday at 36.55. 36.55. So we're pretty much at the red green mark. Horizontal. 36.55 right there. That's the red green move on AMC. That is the red green move. So we're a couple cents away. Let me get back to this. Oh, Robinhood. I don't think it's going to last. Don't think it's going to last personally. What are your thoughts on AA selling some of his stock? Anyway, this can be a positive thing for the apes. So with it, he explained what was going on in the earnings announcement. This isn't him just hitting the sell button. This is him with a 10b5-1 form or something like that, where basically another party sets it up way in advance of like, you call it out months and months down the road. You're like, on this day, no matter what the price is, I'm selling this many shares. So it's not like he's sitting there watching the chart saying, oh, this is my high value. It's a 10b5-1 form, and this is a very, very common way for insiders to a company to sell. Like he said, he's 67. And when most of his wealth is in this one individual stock at his age, he's just taking like a little bit of financial responsibility. But to be very, very clear, it's not like he's sitting there saying, oh, I'm going to buy. It's one of these things that is set up exceedingly far in advance. And you see it with the filing with the SEC. And that's all it is. It's not him saying like, oh, I think I'm done with this. I think it's a function of his age. And even that, though, I don't think he's selling any this year, I believe, if I'm remembering his earnings call, like statements properly. Like he has to get it set up with the SEC now, but the sale won't come for a while. Weeble's confused. What are your thoughts? All right, we did that. We did that. Shout out, shout out. All right, AMC trading at 36.12, and the red green move is at 36.55. We were green for a second there at the start of the day, and then it got smacked. So I'm looking for that reversion. IWM. Someone said IWM down, and then IWM up, but AMC down. Well, not really. They're both currently in the red. Remember, you have to you have to look at the percentage. Is it because like something can gap up or gap down larger? For example, Robinhood from its opening value might look good, but it's down 7.6% on the day. So you have to take a little bit of the larger picture into account. All right, I think I am up to date there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Let's see what's going on. A little bit whippy this morning. That's cool. Unfortunately, man, GameStop's volume is so low. I just want that to like return. GameStop really just not moving. Ortex update on SPRT. Reminder with Ortex, all of you are more than welcome to get their free trial. All of you, if you want it, if I'm not checking it at the speed that you would like, you can get Ortex for completely free for a week. SPRT has a short interest of 69%, utilization of 95%, and shares on loan of 5.62 million, which tells me that it is highly shorted and it's a low float stock. A highly shorted, low float stock. All right. What is the S&P 500 doing right now? S&P 500, it is pushing back. I guess it's bouncing right off of that 436 level that we were talking about. It's all the way back up to 438. I mean, we're only 5 minutes into the day. I do not ever recommend chasing something just because of a move in the first couple minutes. Let's go back to IWM for right now. All right. Robinhood tried to save itself at 45. That's, to me, an important level. It's at 45.35 right now. AMC down 2.5%, GME down 0.7%, IWM down 0.6%, and Robinhood down 9%. Just so we're all on the same page. Smash that. Oh, thank you, Ryan, for that reminder. If you haven't already, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Rumble, I would appreciate it if you could drop that like button on YouTube, the Royal Rumble button on Rumble. It just helps me out the algorithm, gets more people in here, and it's completely free to you. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to talk about stocks, options, futures, crypto, random rants that I have. This is the place for you to be. This is the place for you to be. All right. Let me get this. Good. All right. Robinhood is hanging on by the skin of its teeth. The skin of its teeth right above 45. I wonder if it'll hold or if it won't. AMC at 35.57. And just for a quick Ortex check, they've already borrowed 1.82 million against it thus far this morning on a volume of 3.9 million. Wow. So pretty much half of the volume theoretically could already be short volume. Borrowed shares 1.82 million. Whoever borrowed them, if they decided to short, that would actually legitimately account for half of the volume today, which if they're just dumping those borderline 2 million shares into the market, that could be very descriptive of what we're seeing right now. So I'm not saying a short ladder attack, I'm saying a short attack, which is usually much more likely and reasonable than when people are saying short ladder. Someone just said that Charles Payne tweeted. All right, what did Charles Payne? Let me track this down. Charles Payne. Wall Street infamous need for easy money has triggered selling. Other things are going on. In fact, Fed policy mistakes aren't just keeping rates too low for too long. I see enough signs of weak 2022 growth that could be exacerbated by virus issues and higher taxes. Taper tantrum. When the government's staying at home more lucrative, it's hard to run a business. From the CEO of Red Robin. What else is he up to? What else do we have going on? MSFT. Do we have any other big movers? Steps to a free market from January 2021. This is from Unusual Whales. Hedge funds get infinite QE. Step 1. Step 2. Those same hedge funds overshort GME at 140% using the liquidity they got from central banks. Step 3. As soon as losses come due to bad position and internet, limit all trading against your positions. Step 4. Profit. Sadly, it looks like that's how it did go for some of these players. DoorDash block worth 2.2 billion is said offered by SoftBank. So I guess DoorDash is a portion of it is being sold off by the owner SoftBank. All right, let's do this thing. Where are we at? GME just really not trading much right now. AMC trying to hold on to 35. It's running into the headwinds of the Russell 2000 and the S&P 500. Hang on very quickly. All right. AMC, let's see if it can bounce right off of this level, 35. It looks like Robinhood did bounce off of 45, but let's see if it holds. It would kind of have to get back above 46, or there might I mean, if this is the line in the sand and it breaks the line in the sand at 45, I mean, before the fact that it's below 45.75 is not good for its technical setup. So if it stays below that, the longer Robinhood is below 45.75, which is the line that it's flirting at right now, that could lead to additional downside. Let me show you this 2-hour. 43, what is this level right here? 43, I guess, 43, 43.25. If we break below 45, I think there's going to be $2. And then after that, we would be watching 40, the high from the day of its IPO. This is all just from a technical setup. The technicals, obviously, other crazier stuff has happened, but just want to let you know where it's at. What do we have going on? What do we have going on? Robinhood, or not Robinhood, AMC being systematically walked down, a perfect bull channel right here. Really a bull flag. We see the flag pull, perfect channel downward. Look for this top trend line that you could draw. Look for that breakout. Oh, Matt, advanced magnet charting. We'll have to get that up, Tanner. You're 100% right. Doesn't the 13F prove that the float of shares adds up to higher than 513 million? We own 80% and the institutions own 31%. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, Eric, that is not the takeaway. There's a couple inaccuracies in your statement that I think is important for us to all know. First of all, the 80% ownership, that was a valid metric for us as of early June, not necessarily mid-August. It might be true, it might be more, it might be less. The institutional ownership, that is updated more frequently, or we have a more recent update of that than we do of than retail ownership. And so that's an issue. The number you're citing, the 80% one, it's kind of old data. And the number of 513 million, that's not the number we're looking for. You need to take all of the shares, outstanding shares, add on all of the shares on loan, which is actually about 100 million more. So that brings us to, let's just call it like 625 million. That's the number we want to be monitoring to see if we're above or below something in that realm. We don't want to be using the number of 513 because of what I was describing before of rehypothecation. You can lend out shares, someone can short it, there could be a new owner. That is completely legal and legitimate. So the number where we want to start saying, hang on, things don't add up, is the outstanding shares plus all of the shares that are on loan. When you're above that number, which is around 625, that's when the math is starting to get, hang on, this doesn't add up. Good question though, Eric. You mentioned crypto, your opinions on Bax and Tell. Bud, I have no knowledge on Bax or Tell. No knowledge on those guys. All right. Robinhood, Hood getting taken to the woodshed. It's really flirting with these lines. Oh, SPRT is making a move today. SPRT is trading at 856. When do you think ETH will be a buy? I think Ethereum, which I'm a big fan of, if it holds here, it's at support. So it depends what risk you want to do. You could risk 2,900. It's a bit of an aggressive buy, but it's still buying at support. And who knows, that could be the bounce and it might never return there again. If it falls through that, you could then watch 2.7 and below that 2.4. Honestly, Ethereum and Bitcoin, for me, my process is so comically simple. Whenever I see a major decline, I buy some. It's like I'll either be, for me, since I'm not actively trading it, I'm either going to be very right or very wrong a couple decades down the road when I plan on selling it. I have no plans to sell any of my crypto whatsoever this calendar decade. Like seriously. So for me, I'm going to hold it. And when I'm an old geriatric man, I might think of selling, and it'll either be worth a lot or a little. But if you think 10, 20, 30 years down the road, Ethereum will be anywhere in the ballpark of 3,000, it's just not going to be. It'll either be very close to zero or worth a ton of money. So for me, I'm a little bit more loose with my buys, I guess, because I'm like, well, I don't care about the minutia of like a little $100 move here or there, because it just doesn't matter to me, because that's not going to be the thing that makes or breaks it way down the line. All right, IWM coming back around, SPY coming back around. I wonder if this will be representative of the dip buy. Bootstrap, you are a keyboard warrior, and because of that, you are kicked off the island. Goodbye. Ortex update on Kelly Ripa. Shout out. All right, looks like AMC is finding a nice base. We look at IWM starting to rip. 34.75 is where it found that bounce. The next thing I would be watching is 35.40. We see a high, we see a low. That would be a little intraday technical level. Some of these little intraday technical levels, not that important, because it's not like it's reacted to that multiple times. It's just literally on that own day's like time frame. All right. Let's see. Now I have a little bit more of an idea of what to do here. A little bit better of an idea, so I can officially exit and take my tendies and do something with them. All right, let me get this set up. So IWM looking strong. How's the S&P 500 looking? GameStop not really moving, but the S&P 500 is moving. It bounced right off of 436, which was that support we laid out earlier, shot up, came down. If you were trying to do a day trading thing, you had opportunity to get in around 437.65, and you would have been risking whatever this low is at 437. That would have been the play thus far. Once again, I would not recommend any form of chasing. Dear Gregs, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Shout out Clubfoot Billy. Someone just said AMC under 35. I don't know if you're watching in real time. It's not. It's currently trading at 35.15. So it's not, unless maybe there's some discrepancies there. All right, what is going on? We are seeing some push in the S&P 500 and the Russell 2000, and we're seeing a little bit of a trend line break. Do I want to lock in my hood gains? I'll give it a couple more minutes. I just don't know if this is a fake out breakout or not, but we are seeing AMC having nice bend back around. Let's get back to this horizontal line right there. We're pushing. AMC's putting in the fight. 35.40 is what we want. What's your take on Biden saying he's going to take on big business such as Citadel? That plus Gary G's chat has my kitty ditch. When people say they're gonna take on Wall Street and that type of stuff, especially these political figures, it's nice rhetoric that so many of them have said before, so I don't put that much weight into it. I think actions speak way louder than words. What makes you think anything is ever going to be different with these crooks? History says they will never face any real consequences. I disagree with that. What are you talking about? Melvin Capital blew up. White Square Capital in London blew up. Another one in London blew up. There are very real consequences for the people who are on the wrong side of this trade. Very real consequences. Down 30% on GME, October 1, 200 call. What do you think? Chat, hodl. That's for Dominic. Shout out to Dominic. Looking for some advice from chat here. All right, what else do we have? What else do we have? All right, Walken, Dominic, Catfax, Clubfoot Billy, Danny, Tanner, Eric, Bud, Galactic Space. Shout out, shout out, shout out. All right, we are looking for AMC to see how it reacts here. Interesting action thus far. The small cap sector getting hit a little bit more, a little volatility, but we're seeing some strength. This is exactly what we were talking about before the market opened. The concept of it looked bad, and a lot of the times when people are panicking, that could be a great time to buy. Is it always? Obviously not. There's no such thing as a guarantee or a perfect pattern or methodology in the stock market. It simply just doesn't exist. But you can somehow stack the odds in your favor. And even that, thus far for these S&P 500 day traders, I mean, right at open until now, those people killed it. They did very, very well. What do we have here? 40 Gamer. Is this a Motley Fool article? 40 Gamer. Oh, Brambles. I like this. Oh, I like that. Shout out Brambles. All right, S&P 500 still pushing in the top right. Let's see. Citi Group adjusts price target on AMC holdings from 5 to 370. Maintains sell. How did they're like, you know what? It's worth $1.30 less. QQQ. How's the NASDAQ 100 looking? So on the screen right now is all of the major indices. The S&P 500, well, not all of them, there's more. S&P 500 is in the top right, Russell 2000 in the bottom left, and then NASDAQ 100. So we are very much watching, like, what is the market doing right now? Matt, what are your outlook for tomorrow regarding options expiring in and out of the money? How do you think AMC and GME will react? Moo Poolin? Moo Poolin? It depends on which ones. I would need a strike price. Are all of them going to expire in the money? Well, that's not likely, but I think a decent amount could. I know there's some action specific on AMC to the 40s. The GME option chain right now is very, very light. There's not many bets being made in the options market as I'm saying this for GameStop, but obviously that could change on a dime. Who are we? Let me kick out. Man, I'm liking kicking out all these Gregs. Makes me feel good. Hello, I made 200K on my Netflix insider trading, so here's my $5 fine I had to pay. Thank you. King Vortex Gaming. Yeah, I saw that story as well. For those of you who don't get the reference, there was this story that came out about basically an insider to Netflix making a ton of money and barely getting in trouble for it. But I guess that's just how life is sometimes. Can you please talk about TOBAF and why I can't invest on Webull or Public because those aren't traded on U.S. markets? Win Baxter. They're probably sleeping right now. They're late risers. Is AMC and Dogecoin, if AMC and Dogecoin exploded in value, could Robinhood file bankruptcy and we can't cash out? What would happen to our shares in crypto? I don't think it would play out like that, but also you would have to talk to like a bankruptcy lawyer. I don't think there's a way they would be able to hide it all, but I'm in no way a lawyer. So I don't think I can like fairly comment on it. I don't know why would they declare bankruptcy if those things explode? I don't know like if those are necessarily related. I call it having a heart that beats, speaks louder than words. Shout out Kelby Covington. As a Tampa Bay Bucks fan, a lesson for my follow-ups. We hodled through the Jameis Winston years and mooned with Brady. AMC and Apes can do the same. Shout out Mikey. Shout out Mikey. What's your opinion on reverse repos and inflation back in the 2008 levels, Black Swan? So the reverse repos are just happening to undo all the money that they put into the system. Like they did all these repos, and that's how they got. That's what the quantitative easing was. The Fed would sit there, create money out of thin air, buy bonds, pushing money into the system. They put money in, they got bonds. That's what the Fed was doing. That's how they kind of ensured that our economy and Wall Street didn't go completely like insane with the pandemic. Now, to get some of that money out of the system because they don't want to prompt inflation, you're doing reverse repos. You're trying to suck money back out so you're not devaluing the dollar. So my thoughts on it is they're just trying to undo what they did to stop, I guess, in their opinion, a worse reaction to the pandemic. Franklin is a distraction from Baxter. Thank you, Matt, for helping me through AMC. I've learned a lot. Shout out, Chris. Lou says all that matters is what we close at Friday and what they have to cover this Monday morning. What are your thoughts on will they cover and what they have to cover this Monday? Wait, why would you cover Monday morning? Because of what? I guess I'm confused there, Troy. What we close at on Friday and what they have to cover Monday morning. You hedge before expiration. You don't take care of the exercising and the hedging afterwards. You do it before. So I don't know, unless I'm misunderstanding your comment here. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts and will they cover? Will they cover? Cover just means buying stock to close the short position, and that's going to be different per hedge fund, per short. They're going to cover if they think it's at the best, lowest value. If they think it's going to keep going down, they're going to hold their short. And as long as they're not forced to buy in by their broker, they're going to just continue to hold it. I'm starting to think that the other side tries to keep it in the 40 to 30-ish because if they short it into the 20s, it would be easy to buy. If they lit it up, it would explode. Thoughts? Could be. I think there's some sort of effort to keep it in a range to all those people who sold options. They obviously would love for it to stay in a range. And we know they make a lot of money off of playing the house's position as in the people selling premium, selling calls, selling puts. There could be overall arcing effort to do something like that. That is a possibility. But I mean, do we have definitive proof of that, Douglas? I guess that would be a different story. Slightly different story. Why does this not work? All right, I just want to make sure. Shout out Holistic, shout out KJ Armstrong. Shout out, shout out, shout out. All right, AMC looks like it's coming back to battle it out at this line. Let's see what's going on. GME, it hasn't even traded 200,000. It looks very choppy. It's tough to watch. It's just boring. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see what Hood is up to. Let's see what SPRT is up to. SPRT thus far having itself a good day. All right. Just lowered it, or I guess I should say maybe increased it to a 3-minute chart. Whatever that proper verbiage would be. All right, so AMC currently trading at 35.10. GME trading just below 155. Robinhood tried to break out and then bounced. It's trying to decide. It's just at this very important level of 45.75. Below that, I think it might be worthwhile for me to hold and see how it plays out. Above it, I'll just lock in my profits. Pretty easy trading plan, honestly. Nothing too special. Why do they call them shares? I just hoard and hodl, no sharing. Shout out. Shout out. All right. Robinhood is above. Time to lock in the tendies. And even if it falls, whatever, part of it. Part of the game, but I'm happy with my gain. Good play, and who knows, maybe it'll set up for a different play later on, maybe today, tomorrow, or something. But right now, I am completely flat on Robinhood after locking it in. And just for those of you who maybe are turning in right now of what actually happened there, I was just watching the 45.75 level. I got above it, so I locked it in. I had puts. I was betting against Robinhood. It gapped down. It was down like 9%, and now it's showing a bit of strength, and I don't want my gains to disappear, so it's kind of that simple. Stick to your trading plan. All right, what else do we have moving? Palantir was moving yesterday. How's that looking today? Still above 25. Good for Palantir. Nvidia had its earnings and gapping down on that. I guess it's at 191. How's Roblox looking? Roblox back up to 82. Matt, but asset repurchasing has been going on for a lot longer than reverse repo craziness since May. The first broke $1 trillion in July. Now it's tripled the previously all-time high, and I don't believe the Fed can force participants to participate in the reverse repo system, so I don't see how the Fed is undoing anything. The fact that the rate is higher for a 24-hour reverse repo purchase than most bonds is concerning, and the reason why it's being used more and more. Also, any participant can inflate child funds savings. ABC. Big Bob. Yeah, we would have to talk about that a little bit later. I think you're confusing, at least to my understanding of what's going on. I think you're kind of putting two things together that might not necessarily go together. It's not asset repurchasing. They're taking money out of the system by giving these bonds. Yeah, I think you're conflating two different things between what the original repos were with treasury bonds and the banks and the Fed, and a whole different thing was the bond purchasing with individual corporate companies, which is this time around one of the first times they've ever done it. The Fed asset purchasing has been going on for a lot longer. Yeah, but still two different things between of, I guess, this pandemic era of unlimited quantitative easing and this Fed purchasing. Those are still two distinct things, and for two distinct reasons. The reverse repos are more going to be tied to all the craziness that they did with treasury bonds, which is billions and billions and billions of dollars, like so many billions. What price is SSR at? SSR is a 10% decline. So roughly 3672. It would be down in like sub 30. So I don't really think there's a chance of that. PFE, how do you do a technical look for a continued climb? The best thing you could do when something is, you could do Fibonacci extension, but really there's no solid thing to do because you're letting price discovery play itself out. Who buys my shares when I click the sell button? Is it not Robinhood? I know, rookie question. I am supposed to have potential. My fear is AMC squeezes. Robinhood can't tail. No. Robinhood's just a broker. They're the one who facilitates finding a buyer and a seller. Robinhood, well, that one's a little bit different because they kind of operate on this weird system of IOUs and a pool of shares. if you own a share on Robinhood, you don't actually own the share. Really, on Robinhood, you don't actually own anything. You don't own your shares. You don't own your crypto. Robinhood is a system of a bunch of IOUs, and they like serve as this weird middleman. But maybe to answer your question, I'm more of a legitimate brokerage, such as Fidelity or I don't know, anything like that. When you buy or when you sell, there's another natural buyer and or seller in the market. If you try to buy AMC at 34.64, someone is selling it to you if the trade goes through at 34.64. It's not the brokerage. The brokerage commonly isn't playing the other side. The job of a broker is to facilitate connecting a buyer to a seller, and they do that by routing your orders to a venue such as a lit exchange, a dark pool, or a market maker. So broker's job is to route your trade to a venue where it's connected with another natural buyer or seller taking the opposite side of your trade. It's not the most common thing that your broker is the one playing the other side of your trade. In fact, that's a rarity. I like what ifs. What if Musk or Bezos bought in with $1 billion? How much influence would that possibly have? What if they bought all available shares? I don't think you could buy all available shares because people are willingly trading throughout the day. But let's just say if Musk or Bezos bought, I mean, you'd see a gigantic spike, like a huge spike. You would completely wipe out all lit exchange and dark pool asks if it was a market buy, because look at the size. 26, 24, 224, like all of these, you would just wipe out every pending sale order, probably across every lit exchange, and probably you would run through all of the hidden sell orders on all dark pools as well. I don't think there's a total aggregate amount of $1 billion waiting in sell orders. So it would just go higher and higher and higher. But this concept of buying all shares, what if they buy all available shares? I don't know what you mean by all available shares. All shares are already owned. It's not like there's a pool of free shares that we're buying from. Every share has ownership, and you're buying from a willing seller. What's the best way for me to get my crypto out of Robinhood, and where should I send it? You should sell it. The easiest way is to sell it on Robinhood and buy it on a legitimate exchange that has a wallet such as Coinbase or Gemini or Voyager. What about Weeble? I guess what about Weeble? What if there aren't sellers anymore? Well, if there's no sellers, that means there's no buyers and the price wouldn't move. If everyone in the world that owned AMC, everyone, I'm talking insiders, institutions, retail, and algorithms, if everyone who owned AMC said we are not trading AMC, then that means that no one could buy it because no one's selling it and the price would just go sideways. It wouldn't be traded at all. No wallets on Voyager. That's actually incorrect. Some of them are wallets, some of them are not wallets, and that's all on their website. When the shorts cover, will the fake shorts be covered with the real shorts? When we'll be able to tell that everything has been covered? We won't know when the fake shorts are covered because that's never reported, so you don't know. Can you do technicals for AMC? I got 837 strike for September 9th. I'm down 1,000 on it already. Do I take the loss now? Please help in keeping me calm. I mean, this is your trade, Enrique. I can't tell you what to do. I could tell you that we have nice momentum. There's a lot of support between 30 and 32, but it's still your trade. It is still, I mean, what's the confidence in your trade? I like your time. You're talking about September 9th. That's quite a bit of time. Can AMC get above 37 by September 9th? Is that theoretically possible? Without a doubt in my mind. I think it could do it relatively easy, being we were above 36.55 today. But still, I don't know your financial situation. I don't know your risk to reward tolerance. For me, I would be fine with that trade, but that's also me. I don't really know about your life. Is this dip due to them borrowing more shares? Borrowing has no impact on price. Borrowing has absolutely no impact on price. Borrowing and returning, that is not buying or selling. You have to borrow and then short. Shorting impacts the price. Covering the short by buying your shares back impacts the price. But borrowing and returning has no impact on price. Whole market is red. When will the squeeze happen? No one knows. What is stopping prime brokers from never covering naked shorts and just marking shorts as long? Ideally, the FINRA and governing body SEC enforcing the fix of FTDs, because those would still get registered. Most of them, I shouldn't say all, would get registered as a fail to deliver. So what would stop them? Hopefully our governing body going to the prime brokers and being like, you have all these FTDs, you need to fix them. What's the point of them borrowing and returning shares? Well, you need to borrow and return to possibly take a legal short position. You have to borrow to short, and then when you cover them, you have to return it so you stop paying the cost of borrow fee. Why would you just borrow and return without ever going short and then covering? Maybe because you're worried that the utilization's at 100% and you might not be able to track them down. Maybe you want to short, but you're worried that there might be no shares to short. Maybe you're about to go short and then there's some sort of announcement or technical development that you don't like the situation anymore and you give these shares back. There's many reasons why you would borrow and then return without ever going short. Donut is ripping faces off. You know me, big fan of Krispy Kreme, up 4%. Well, good. It's about time. Like all this stock has done is downtrend, so I'm happy that it's coming back. Oh, it had its earnings yesterday. Shout out Trey's Chesser. So it's doing well, but it is coming off of a pretty serious downtrend. So I don't know if it's momentary or if it's actual like change in trend. Yeah, so someone said it's more so recovering than ripping. I would probably agree with that. So on an intraday basis, it's ripping, but it's more so of recovery from a long sell-off. DraftKings at 52. Hood at 46. What do you think about Baba? I think Baba is undervalued, but it's a tough play because you're talking about its involvement with not only their own government, who Jack Ma, who created Alibaba, does not get along with his government, and then you're also talking about our government. So it has a lot more risk factors involved in it than just a normal stock, and those are just to our government and the Chinese government. So it's a tough play. This guy has to explain himself repeatedly all the time without saying, "Look, buddy." Hey, Mark, I'm going to take my kids to ride dirt bikes for the day. So if we squeeze, could you sell my shares for me? I appreciate it. Hodl strong apes. Coach Kohrs, very rear football bat. Yeah, I'll do that for you. I got you, man. I got you. What other movers do we see to the day or any other big action? Let me get this for today. All right, there we go. Breaking news. Wait, what? Robinhood CFO, we are not a meme stock, could replace payment for order flow if we had to. Really? Robinhood CFO, we are not a meme stock, could replace payment for order flow if we had to. Speaking to CNBC, said he had expect regulators to ban payment for order flow business model that underpins its ability to offer zero free trading. It's really quite small on a trade basis when you look at the end of that. It's not a revenue source that we would necessarily that difficult to replace. Not this quarter, but the quarter before in Q1, it was 63% of their revenue. So this is very much, he's trying to understate the importance of payment for order flow to the company, and it's severely understating it. I mean, last quarter, it was not Q2 and Q1, it was 63% of the company's income. So I don't know how you could just so easily get rid of it. I mean, if you could so easily get rid of it, why wouldn't you do that when we know that payment for order flow is not good for the market? That's almost worse. Like his statements, if you really think about it, is actually worse. So if it's so easy for them to replace, and many stock market scholars are saying that payment for order flow is bad for the market, why wouldn't you just do it? So at that point, at a certain thing, I understood the argument of like, hey, we get that it's not the best, but it's also how we offer free trading. That statement is inherently worse for the company because they're saying, oh, we could make money other places. We just actively choose to engage in a way that is damaging to the market, and we get piss poor execution quality for our clients. Honestly, that statement, if it is true, which I'm assuming it is true, tells you so much more about Robinhood. Like, I understood the argument of like, hey, like we get it's not good, but it's also how you get free trading. So that's the trade-off. Do you want free trading or do you want to deal with payment for order flow? They're now saying that we could easily get off of it. No big deal. So they're just engaging in this for what? To just like be dicks? Like, that's so bad. That is so bad. What is this? More than half of Gen Z investors admit to trading while drunk. Sir Loki. Sir Loki. All right, what is going on here? Roblox taking a bit of a hit. What else do we have? Nvidia coming back. Nvidia fighting back. SPRT. SPRT showing a bit of strength. So is Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme might be the magical winner of the day. Sky, I guess, SPY going green. It was a dip buy. SPY, let's check out what's going on with the SPY. Its previous close, very close. It's down 11 cents, almost going green on the day. Son up 150% on the day, currently halted. Thoughts? If it's up that much, I wouldn't trade it. I mean, that's chasing. It's the definition of chasing. If I see a huge gain like that, my first thought would be I probably don't want to trade it. And after looking at it, I might be like, okay, I might want to short it, but I wouldn't chase 150% run. That seems crazy. S&P 500 showing some strength. Hopefully this relates to some strength here in AMC. We're looking for AMC to get above, let's just call it 35.50, easier to remember. GME showing a little bit of green. It's down only 1% on the day. AMC is down 4%. SPRT is up 5.65%. SPY pushing. SPY is officially green, 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 green. Green, 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 green. Will you show Gary Gensler on Fox Business today? He already spoke. That's already done. It happened at 8:30 Eastern this morning. I streamed it on Twitch, and I'll clip some of the interesting parts of the interview, and I'll put it on the Kohrs Clips channel. Yeah, I'll throw that up there. Hey, Matt, what is that website showing options? This one is Benzinga. This is Benzinga. If you use the code August35, you can get a 35% discount. But if you want to try it out first, there's a link in the description of this video that'll get you a free trial. And so you could sign up through that to save yourself a little bit of money. The other one, though, I don't know if you're talking about this one where we see these. The other one is Tiblio. Oh, actually, I already had that up. This options picker, this is Tiblio, and that basically all the software I use is in the description of the video, so you can track that down. All right, let's go, AMC. Let's turn this party back around, folks. Matt, if AMC rips, how would it work to get these to 1,000 per share figure? Wouldn't AMC be constantly halted and possibly make squeeze last for days? Yep. That would be many, many halts. I mean, even in the move up to 72, there were like what, 5 halts that day? There would be an incredible amount of volatility halts. I will get a duck tattoo when the stock moons. How about you? Maybe. I don't know. I don't have any tattoos right now, and I've been thinking about that more. I think it'd be cool to get a tattoo. I just don't really know what I would get it of. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people just overthink their first one. I have no clue. But as of now, I don't have any. Someone said Macy's is absolutely ripping. I think that just trades under M. Macy's is absolutely ripping. It's up 14%. Macy's on the move. Macy's is on the move. I wonder, did it have earnings? Nice breakout. So on Macy's, it's very close to resistance at 21. So I have no Macy's position, and I don't plan on getting any. 21.10, so I would watch 21, and then I would also watch right after that 22.30. So 21 followed by 22.25 would be the next levels of resistance to watch. Would I chase this now? Absolutely not. The risk reward is not in your favor. If you already have a position, that's awesome, but you don't want to get in here and get forced to risk, I don't know, the low 19s when you have resistance like 25 cents above you. The risk reward wouldn't be in your favor. Here's the article. All right, Sir Loki, I'll check that out. They are putting Toys R Us in Macy's. Oh, so Macy's acquired Toys R Us? Is that what the news is? That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Let's stand up. Let's help out AMC. Let's stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Let's all work on those 6 packs. We're going, we're going, we're going. Feels so good to actually have some good posture. All right. Good, good, good. Let's lower this a bit. All right, all right, all right. Here we go, team. Hypothetically, could a super wealthy entity or individual single-handedly trigger the squeeze in absolution, or will hedgies still manipulate? No, I would say one of our world's billionaires would probably be able to successfully trade or prompt a short squeeze. Yeah, they totally could. I mean, because what they would do, they just need to buy enough that pushes it above what, I guess 50, maybe 65. Yeah, I think that they could do that. Bought AMC at 49, down 30K, but diamond handing to the moon. Love your work and what you do for the community. Been a fan since January. Moon Gang. Shout out, shout out. Macy sold FAO Schwartz for a while too. Didn't save them. Wait, so what's going on with Toys R Us and Macy's? I feel like it's probably just in the news section. This should be it. I'm not seeing anything about between suburban and urban. Macy stock is gaining after earnings crushed expectations. It's paying a dividend again too. So it sounds like they crushed earnings. But yeah, they beat their earnings expectations. Earnings, earnings, earnings. Chris Terry, there's not a magnitude of IV. It's relative to itself. So certain IVs on one stock could be bad on another. Bought All right, we did that. Baby cup and handle on the 1 minute. Oh, brother. Yeah, we definitely just, I mean, we can see this resistance right here, right above 35. So we're looking for this breakout. How would you play a $20 strike expiring tomorrow? I don't know what stock you're referring to. I mean, I guess. I mean, yeah, hang on. I need to know what stock you're referring to. What is a halt? This is a good question. A halt is when the stock stops trading on all brokerages. No one is trading it. The brokerages don't decide when this happens. It's more of the stock market, like the governing body actually decides. And there's various reasons for halts. The most common one is a volatility halt when a stock moves a certain percentage, whether up or down in a certain amount of time, that could prompt a volatility halt. Another common halt is pending news of if we're waiting for the FDA to announce if whatever a random drug company's drug will be approved or denied. That's another type of halt. There's if you just look up stock market halts, you're going to find an entire list of the reasons why a stock could be halted. But the most common one is a volatility one, and usually they last about like 10 minutes, and then the stock starts trading again. I don't get Macy's crushing earnings is a red day, right? No, crushing as in like you did really well. It's up 14%. Crushing earnings is a good thing. It's a bullish thing, a positive thing. All right, so we did that. SPRT hanging out at 845. Macy's, let's bring up Krispy Kreme just because it's fun to watch. GameStop, unfortunately, not really moving at all. What's its volume? Traded 288,000 shares. So just there's really not trading interest right now in GameStop. And I'm hoping it's just like a summertime thing. And as soon as August is over, as we get closer to the end of the month, start of September, I'm hoping some excitement comes back into GME. Apparently, Bloomberg confirmed 3 billion AMC shares. Could you look into that for us? Confirmed 3 billion? I could look that up. I haven't heard anything about that. Bloomberg, AMC, 3 billion shares. I'm not seeing anything about this. When I search that, all I see is some YouTube video, but I'm not seeing like a Bloomberg article. I'd have to look more into it, but the person who posted it, I've never heard of them. I don't know if they're like a true ape or not. I just haven't heard of them, so I can't really comment on it. Um, AMC, you have a $20. I mean, you're just deep in the money, so it's not really gonna matter. Like, I don't know if you wanna. How would you play a $20 strike expiring tomorrow? Michael, I guess when you send these in, I need a bit more info. Are you trying to exercise it? Do you want the shares? I don't know if you have the capital in your account. Are you just trying to get your profit off of options? Are you in profit right now? How long ago did you get it? If you've been in it for months, you're probably up a lot of money. If you bought it yesterday, you're probably down. I just need more info. I don't know if you're up, down, if you want the shares, if as in exercising it. If you're going to exercise it, it's not going to matter. Like you could exercise it yesterday, today, or tomorrow, and there's not going to be a difference because you're just getting the shares at a $20 fill. So the current trading price of AMC is not going to matter to you. If you want the money from the option gain in premium, I mean, are you in a gain? Did you get it recently? There's a lot of questions here that I have. Macy's crushed earnings, raised guidance, brought back dividend, exclusive online retailer for Toys R Us. And that's awesome. Thank you, Ryan, for clarifying that. So that's why Macy's is doing well, is because it just across the board, it's doing very well as a company. Ooh, okay. Very quickly, just so everyone knows, today's stream is sponsored by Manscaped. They've been with us for a while, and the reason they're sticking with us is because they really enjoy hanging out with all of you guys. So shout out to Manscaped. Actually, in fact, they sent me this. Check this out. Boom. Cleared for takeoff. Manscaped, your balls will thank you. Attention listeners across the galaxy, all the way from Australia to Houston, do we have a pube problem? If so, our friends at Manscaped have cleared you for takeoff with your 4th generation and brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Kick your pubes to the next planet with the Performance Package 4.0. The orbits in your pants will feel like you're in zero gravity when you use the best tools for the job from the leaders in male grooming. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get your rocket ready for takeoff by going to manscaped.com/moongang for 20% off and free shipping. So with it, they sent me some of their gear, and I think it's awesome. I mean, a lot of people come to me, and they're like, Matt, we like your show and all, but the reason I really pay attention to you is I've noticed that you always have perfectly trimmed nose hair. And folks, the only reason I have perfectly trimmed nose hair is because of Manscaped. So they have a lot. They have the pube shaver. They have this, it's called the weed whacker for your nose thing. They have ball deodorant. They have these cool toiletry kits. They even have Manscaped underwear. So all that definitely worthwhile to check out. Once again, you get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/moongang. It is pinned to the top of chat. That's 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/moongang. For a clean trinity and beyond, your space balls will thank you. And just very quickly, I want to show you what it looks like here. So once you go to the right thing /Matt Kohrs or /Moongang, it is pinned to the top of chat. You'll get the 20% off. And then here's all the stuff that they have. They have the sets, the tools, the formulas, lifestyle. Honestly, the boxers are insanely comfortable. I didn't know that they would create high quality boxers, but they have all these other razors and trimmers, cool stuff. I guess all of this. I haven't used the foot duster, but they have ball deodorants and stuff. But hey, if you're a Manscaped already customer, you can get an extra discount by using this code. And if you're not, and if it's something that you'd be interested in, check it out. Manscaped.com/moongang. It is pinned to the top of chat. For the folks born before 1980, the Toys R Us news is huge. I mean, when I was little, I went to Toys R Us and I loved it. I remember when then it like kind of they folded up shop. That was sad. Bloomberg AMC is on the Brazilian stock market. Bloomberg AMC is on the Brazilian stock market. That AMC A232 trader at $33 Brazilian with a 101 market cap in USDA is 19 billion. So different stocks can trade on different markets. For example, AMC trades on the German market, but that has no impact on you in your position if you have AMC on the US market. It is, they're kind of related. Like I think there's a better relation with the German market one. So some people will find it on the German market, but with it, it's not really going to matter to you because you have the value of the AMC stock on the US market. So if it's trading differently, and there might be with that seems like a huge discrepancy. $33 Brazilian with a 101. I'm assuming by the time that you do the conversion from a Brazilian dollar to a US dollar, it's probably exactly the same. So that sounds more of like a currency discrepancy. Right there, you said exercise shares. What does that mean? Exercising shares means following through on your options contract. If you have a call option, that call option represents 100 shares at whatever the strike price is. So when you exercise, it's saying, give me those 100 shares. You give up your options contract, not selling it, you're exercising it, and you then you have the right, you would actually have to buy them at whatever the strike price is. Thinking about buying Manscaped products, but not sold on yet. Can you show how it works? Ralph, yeah, those are all on my OnlyFans page. This is what everyone is talking about. AMC listed on the Brazilian exchange showing 3.08 billion shares outstanding. Yeah, but that would be a whole different listing. That's not AMC's stock. That's this other stock. It's A2MC. So that might have a different shares outstanding. The US AMC stock, that has its own shares outstanding. That's what we're talking about. I don't know who put this out there, but this is just like another, it's not FUD because it's not causing fear, uncertainty, or doubt, but it is misinformation. It's not understanding that there's different exchanges with their own set of shares, their own set of longs, their own set of shorts. It's very much a distinct entity that has no impact on our AMC. Hey Matt, you should get Manscaped to do a limited edition run with Moon Gang designs for the AMC to the moon. So I'll have to look back into this. I appreciate the 3.09. Why can't I zoom in here? So the market cap and the price, like you would have to do a conversion. Hang on, let me do the conversion for all of us. Brazilian dollar to USD. Okay, so this really didn't take much time to debunk. How much is it? 101 billion. 101 billion. How many zeros is that? You would have 101 billion and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And surprise, surprise, that comes out to, let me just double check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It comes out to $18.6 billion. So yeah, this is like just another thing of people not taking their DD to the next level. So if you're looking at the Brazilian thing and it says it has a market cap of 101 billion, 101 billion, and I think I did this right, 1,000 million. Okay, yeah, 101 billion, and then you do this, the math, it ends up becoming 1, 2, just double checking. 18.6 billion, which is very much in the realm of the market cap. This is saying 17.77. So I don't know. This is the screenshot I'm looking at. The figure I use, 101. The market could already be closed or something. My point is showing it's like right in the ballpark, and people just aren't taking the DV to the next level and converting it from a Brazilian real to a USD. But then for the, what is it? For the amount of shares outstanding, those shares are not our shares. The US market AMC shares are very much exclusively for the US market. It wouldn't trade on the German market, the Canadian market, the Brazilian market, the Asian markets. Like they would have a distinct set of shares and thus doesn't really have an impact on us. But I don't know. It sounds like, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe this will be the particular thing that people run with for the week. That, I don't know. Could just be. Tweet storm Elon. People are trying to get Elon to buy AMC. I think Elon has probably other things on his mind than buying $1 billion worth of AMC. I just don't think he'll. I think he's worried about some space travel and some EV stuff. Oh, Tony, right here. Tony already debunking the other part. 3.08 billion Brazilian ADR is at a 1-to-6 parity of 513 million US shares. So right there, when you take in that parity, Tony, I appreciate that. So right there, we've already looked into the share outstanding difference. So, it is okay. So ADR is how a different company can trade on a different nation's company can trade on a that other nation's market. So for example, if you're looking into, we were talking about these Chinese companies like Neo, it's actually not a share, it's an ADR, which is just more of like it's a company in a different country. So in this one, if AMC is an ADR, it actually might be ours then if they are truly trading it, if the ADR is set up properly. But the 3.08 billion Brazilian ADR is at a 1-to-6 parity, equals to 513 million US shares. I appreciate you putting that out there, Tony. Joey, message retracted. I like the mystery. Morning, coach. What's going on, Kiki Kong? Morning, Apes. Buying some shares of Macy's for Jeffrey because I want my kids to be Toys R Us kids too. So people just very supportive of this push into Toys R Us. Hey, I like the nostalgic value. Let's do an Ortex check on Macy's. Let's see if it's shorted. It is shorted. Macy's has a short interest of 13.54%. So less than AMC, but more than GME. Shares on loan, 18.78 million. So it's not like the lowest float stock, but it is a lower float stock. What you're witnessing right here might be kind of some shorts actually covering, some shorts getting smoked on the position. Interesting. Macy's, the potentially dark horse short candidate. Now they all had to do was, I guess, just talk about Toys R Us and destroy their earnings. Interesting. I have not been, I have no Macy's position and I have not been tracking it, but it is showing some strength. Look for this breakout. We were talking about 21, followed by 22, 25 are the levels. And then from there, this thing could really get moving. And it's not the craziest shorts we've ever seen, but there could be a certain size of a short squeeze. Like, I don't know if Macy's will explode to hundreds of dollars, but you could get a little volatility pop for sure. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Uh, the AMC, the Germany one, I think is an ADR for AMC. German market AMC. So I believe that's AH9. You'd have to double check to see if it's truly the stock that's just trading on the other exchange or if it is. Yeah, this is trading on the Frankfurt market. And that market has closed. It might be an ADR. It just trades earlier in the day. That's a possibility. It, from the little bit I'm seeing when I search it, it does look like it's the ADR. So you might have it. And just to double check everything, just quickly do the conversions. Make sure that the price conversion, when you do like the German franc to the USD, it's probably in this realm. Check out some of the other numbers. But it looks like it might be a very similar situation where it is the exact same stock trading on another market in just a different time zone, really. But it's still all, I guess, accounted for by the time you do the currency conversion and the share conversion. Let's get Elon by AMC trending. Can you help Trey? Bloomberg info is incorrect. What did Bloomberg info is incorrect? Well, I don't know what part of it he says is incorrect. Yeah, no, no, this isn't right. Trey's tweet is not right. He just didn't do the conversion. I mean, obviously, you have to do a conversion when you're talking about a different country's currency and then the parity. It definitely adds up. But I don't know. I'm sure someone will point it out. Or the only thing that I guess would really tie this together, though, is Tony. If you could show where you got the price parity. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why people are getting confused about it. It even says it's not in USD. It says it's in BRL. Like it's not even in our currency. Well, it happens. And I guess people are just going to probably run with that one. But no, that the Bloomberg thing that people are like pointing out right now, it's not indicative of any, it's not evidence or proof of something illegal, illicit going on. We do have things that are a little bit more stronger secondary and tertiary evidence of that, but just very specifically, this Bloomberg Brazilian thing, it's not the rabbit hole that's worth going down because, like, by the time you do a basic conversion, it makes sense. It's the shares outstanding. No, even the parody is already on Twitter. Tony, can you DM that to me, please? If you're still here listening, if you could send that to my Twitter DM. AMC zoom out 4 hour follow pattern down to no. I think AMC has some nice support before that, Steve. A lot of apes wanted to do this because if what happened to Taurus is being screwed to the ground, I was one of them, and I think it's worth looking into. Kinky Kong, I'll happily look into it. Um, what is this one? Yeah, Tony, I would appreciate if you could send that just so we could go over the parody thing live, just so people feel more comfortable about what is or isn't happening. Um, so we already went over. What else do we have? Hey, I'm just trying to find the parody thing. I see people still kind of confusing some of this dark pool stuff. Yeah, Tony, I see your message that the parody thing. Oh, right here. I just want to find what people are talking about with the parody thing. Let's go. Who is this? Bloomberg and Motley Fool putting out some FUD about AMC insider sell rushing to sell. That's already been discussed on the earnings announcement. This was in no way a secret or anything like that. If you want to know the board's members' thoughts and opinions on them selling shares, listen to it. They were very, very open of what's going on. And it seems like it's just getting some news traction now between Bloomberg and Motley Fool that they're trying to like say like, oh, all of them are selling. It's just not true. But I'm still trying to track down this parody thing. AMC. Maybe if I just search it, just trying to do some live DD for all of you. Uh, what was this company? A2, A2MC3. AMC share parity. Where do we see the parity though? All right, this is definitely something that we'll have to look into. Just I want to find a proper source of the parity. I wish it was right on Bloomberg. We know it's not a price thing. Oh, well, okay. Actually, think of it like this. Here, think about it like this. If the market cap is the same, that's just the equivalent to a share split or a reverse split. It all that matters is the market cap, because if on a different exchange they offer 10x the amount of shares, well then the price is just going to be a tenth of it. Or if they offer only a tenth of the shares, then the price will be 10x. We don't care about the what they're saying is for outstanding shares, as long as it's proportionately proper and accurate based on the market cap. That's actually what we care about, because outstanding shares, they could just do a share split, and for every share there could be two, and then the amount of shares would double and the price would half. Or you could cut the amount of shares in half and then the price would double. It's all about the amount of shares multiplied by the price equaling the accurate market cap. So with it, we don't really care about the amount of shares on the Brazilian market, because as long as it's a proper ratio with the price, it needs to be at the same market cap. The key at the end is the market cap, the value of AMC as a company. Hey Matt, will you pretty please look into NTNX and tell me if you think it's a good dip buy opportunity? Thanks in advance. NTNX. No, it looks like it just broke down. This thing might keep coming for like $30, I would say. 30. I would watch $30 on NTNX. I don't really know anything about it. If the price parity is to the power of 6, would the shares? No, hence the 3 billion. I don't quite know what you mean there. Let me see. Here, I need to like pull up these pictures. So it's saying that the price is 33.09 BRL. You have to do the conversion though to USD because we aren't talking in BRL. So the market cap is 102 billion BRL. Once again, you have to convert that to USD because we're not dealing in BRL. By the time you convert all of these things, the market cap is, we're talking about the same thing. I don't know what the shares outstanding is, 3.06 or 3.08 billion. And I think that's another conversion thing. I'm just trying to find like the exact evidence of it somewhere that's saying the parity is a 6-1, that for some reason it seems like AMC trading on the Brazilian market is equivalent of like a 6-1 share, I guess split is probably a 6-1 share split. So it's still, I mean, even right now, AMC could do a 6-1 split, and then instead of 513 million, we would also have 3.08 billion, but they would be worth a sixth of the price. So I think by the time you do the right conversions here, it still adds up. But just to double check, I mean, like this is coming to my attention live on the stream, so I'll look into it during the break, and then in the afternoon stream, I'll just like bring everything together for you, so it's going to make more sense. But right away, I see people treating BRL as if it's USD. One share does not equal one share. Someone just said one share equals one share. That's not actually accurate, because you could do reverse splits and share splits. Like those happen in the market. Yeah, I don't think. This is, oh, yeah, I see other people are starting to push this now. It's not, um, no, it's gonna, there's a very, very easy conversion explanation for this. And I think it's just getting misunderstood what it means. Yeah, I'll just try to find the exact information. I'll find a source that shows that the ADR conversion on the Brazilian market is 6-1 to the US market. And then right there, it's all gonna just add up. That would be the final thing. What else do we have here? Elon Musk, Elon Musk. All right. AMC 3506 coming back around, trying to get this breakout of 3540. GME also waking up. And then let's go take a peek at, well, how is Hood doing? We haven't looked at that in a second. Hood actually coming back down. I got out of it right on this breakout around 45. It might keep going down, but I'm happy with my gains. Don't want to get too greedy there. Speaking of too greedy, how's Tesla? No, that's Tesla trading at 677. What else do we have? What else do we have? All right. Come on, AMC, trying to recapture. I like it. GME also showing some strength. GME close to going green. Previous close is at 157.05, very close. That would put it right here. And then this top line is the green, red-green movement for AMC, 36.55. Right. Awesome, awesome. A company that converts hardware to software. Check DM, tweet Matt, will do. Thoughts on Macy's stock with recent news with Toys R Us? I mean, Macy's is doing very, very well. It has a decent sized short interest. Like there could be additional movement. It's at the first resistance I would recommend paying attention to right now, 2110. But after that, we're watching 2225. I have no Macy's positions right now. But it is showing some serious strength after, well, it's not just the Toys R Us thing. They had a very, very, very good earnings announcement. Someone just said AMD is ripping. Is AMD ripping? I mean, it's up 1%, which is cool. Green is good. Love Toys R Us. Got calls for next Friday. Let's see how it plays out. I wish you the best of luck, Frank. I hope you crush it. The guy Astro on Twitter. Oh, I think I've seen this account. Um, I've read at least some of his Twitter DD, and I think Sam has put out some good info from what I remember about this. And it seems like he liked Slash. Oh, yeah, I think he's a guitar player. That's awesome. Good for him. I wish I were a more talented musician. And by more talented, I mean above zero. In terms of the situation, I understand your conversion argument, but why does one USD share not equal one BR share? Because it's not a share, it's an ADR. That's how you trade a different country's company on yours. It's not a one-to-one ratio because you're not talking, it's not trading US AMC shares on their market. It's what's referred to as an ADR. There's a conversion. That's how you get a foreign company's stock to trade on a different company or different country's exchange. And with it, there can be, I guess, some sort of parity. Well, that's what I guess I know there's a parody there, but the only thing is Tony, if you could, parody is already on Twitter. Tony, if you could send that to me, DM it to me, just so we could show it to people in the afternoon stream, or I'll just do some research in midday. But Tony, if you're still listening, I'd love for you to DM that to me on Twitter, just so I could show the parody. But one share in one country is not the same as one share in a different country's stock exchange. That's not how it works. All right, sweet. So it is 11 a.m. That is the end of the morning stream on the Matt Kohrs Clips channel. We're going to stream it until I come back at 2 p.m. today. I will be back at 2 p.m. and then I'll be streaming to 4. So midday, a little bit of a midday break. Then I'll come back at 2 p.m. and we'll clear up this entire thing about like the Bloomberg report for what's going on with AMC. But in the meantime, the Matt Kohrs Clips channel, I will be streaming the market with some lo-fi music and what's going on there. But until I catch you at 2 p.m. Eastern, that is, remember, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.